right, and we're back with another episode, and joining me today, Alex Hughes. How's it going?
I'm doing great. How are you, Cody?
I'm doing fantastic.
Good.
We were talking before this, and how we haven't done one of these yet.
So crazy. I can't even believe it.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out why we haven't. But,
right.
I mean, COVID happened, I guess.
Yes.
All the shutdown.
Life stuff happens. Yeah.
But here we are.
Here we are. And I'm so grateful to be here today. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Happy to have you on. For starters, for those listening, tell us a little bit about yourself and where you come from.
Sure. So, yeah, Alex Hughes, pop country artist based in Calgary. Kind of been singing and performing my whole life. And I've started putting out some singles. I started with kind of my new project in 2019. And I'm working away on building an artist career.
Love it. And when you say singing your whole life, was it something that you grew up in your household? Something you just picked up randomly?
Yeah, it's a funny story. The first time I ever got on stage and performed live in front of a real audience, I was 7 years old. My dad is a web developer, and he was working for a karaoke company. And I don't know if you remember, but in the 90s, karaoke was kind of a big deal. Lots of families had karaoke machines in your home. And I remember going to friends' houses and singing, and it was kind of a thing, right? Yeah. So anyways, we got this karaoke machine, and I always kind of sang. I remember in kindergarten getting solos in choir, and at family gatherings. I come from a really large extended family, so we would always have backyard barbecues, and even as young as 5, I'd get up and maybe sing a song or two. But the first official gig I ever had, I entered a contest called, I think it was the Kickin' Country Karaoke Contest.
Okay.
And it was here at Eau Claire Market in downtown Calgary. And I got up and sang, I think it was Leanne Rimes' Blue. And I ended up winning the whole contest, which was so crazy because, I'm just this 7-year-old girl, and there were people of all ages singing and performing. And I kind of realized this is pretty cool. I think I won plane tickets anywhere on WestJet, which at the time was Western Canada, not all over the world like it is now, but still free plane tickets. I won a bike, I won a helmet. And I actually just fell in love with being on the stage. So it was sort of this win-win moment of hey, this is really awesome. This is so much fun. And I really enjoy doing it. So I had a little light bulb go off in my head. And I think ever since then I was, destined to be on the stage.
Nice. And did you know how to you play guitar and all that stuff? Did you know those things already, or
No, so I started singing to tracks and stuff, and then I think it was in about the end of junior high or the beginning of high school, I picked up guitar and just started learning some chords. I got a guitar teacher, and I still wouldn't classify myself as a great guitar player, but I knew that I had to learn to be able to accompany myself and to write music. So I picked it up, and I've been playing ever since.
Awesome. Hey, I mean, what do they say? This is this guy. I only know 4 chords, and people say, hey, you only need to know 4 chords and have a capo or something like that.
That's exactly true. Yeah, you can probably play pretty much any song.
Pretty close.
Yeah.
Okay, so for someone who hasn't heard your music before, how would you describe your sound to them? I know you said pop country.
Yes. I think it's really interesting because I've spent the last few years doing a lot of artist development, spending a lot of time trying to figure out exactly what, makes my sound unique. And I think a lot of that stems from I grew up in this large extended family, and we would have these barbecues, and, we would, I had cousins who were in rock bands. I actually had cousins that were in a 5 member like pop band, and music has just been such a big part of our lives and all genres. And I think that really influences my sound. Like, I remember my parents playing Snoop Dogg when I was little. And then I had, my grandparents show me artists like Patsy Cline or Linda Ronstadt. And all of those artists sort of have influenced the sound that I'm producing now. I love R&B. I love hip hop. So I love a good beat. I love pop music, like super catchy. And then, I have this like super love for country music and those classic traditional sounds. And even the way I sing, I think I tend to lean a little bit into that older country sound. So it's sort of, I'm trying to marry all of those things together. So a little bit of that pop sound, a little bit of that R&B in the way that I do some of my runs, but something that is still like, I think maybe my grandparents would still enjoy if they only like country music. It still kind of fits into that realm.
Okay, awesome. Influences. Do you have specific ones for songwriting and then one for just performing?
Yeah, that's a great question. For songwriting, I think I have a very particular moment in my mind. I was at the CCMAs in Vancouver many years ago, and I watched a songwriter round where Hillary Lindsay was performing. And she performed a song. And for those who don't know, she's written a ton of stuff for like Carrie Underwood, just tons of huge names. But she played a song called Concrete Heart. And there was something about that song that just really resonated with me. And ever since that moment, I've just been fascinated with songwriting. I think there was something about connecting with that song that made me really appreciate the writers behind the music. And as a songwriter, I've been just from that moment on sort of influenced by her, and many others for sure. But as an artist, my favorite artist is sort of an obscure choice, I guess. It's an artist, Eva Cassidy. Do you know who Eva Cassidy is?
I don't know if I do, to be honest.
That's totally okay. So I kind of warned you of the obscure choice, or not as well known. But she was a performer who unfortunately passed at quite a young age. I think it was in her later 30s. And she didn't actually become popular until after she passed. I think her family, I'm not sure the entire story, but I think her family might have helped get her music out into the world. And there was this particular show she played at the House of Blues in Los Angeles. And it's, she has some of her own songs, but a lot of the songs are these amazing covers of songs that have stood the test of time. And like, one of them's Time After Time, the Cyndi Lauper song, many others. And this performance is just, her voice is so effortless, and the way that it shows emotion, she's my all-time favorite artist. And I love vocals. So I think that's why I would say she is my favorite. But please check her out if you have a chance. The show at the House of Blues is on YouTube. So
I'll definitely check that out.
Awesome.
All right. What would you say has been the best advice you've been given in your career so far that you still follow to this day?
Yes. That's a great question too. You're loaded with these great questions. I have a funny story for my answer for this question.
I was wondering, started laughing.
I know. It's because this story's in my head. I went to, actually in Edmonton, I got to come see Faith Hill and Tim McGraw perform. Okay. And I won a contest, so I was able to come to a private VIP show before the big concert. So I think it was like myself and 30 other people in the room. And it was such an intimate show that we actually got to kind of talk to them and ask them questions. So I asked Tim McGraw, what advice do you have for somebody who's pursuing music? And he looked at me, and I think I was like maybe 15 years old, let's say. So like, I'm like a young teenage girl with just dreams and like stars in my eyes. And he looked me dead in the eye and said, you need to be crazy and you need to want to do it more than anything else in the world. And just, be ready for a wild ride. And he couldn't be more right. And I always keep that in the back of my mind, because anytime, this industry can be really challenging. And so I like to remind myself that, I was warned.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
What advice? Okay, so you were given that advice.
Yes.
What advice would you give someone if someone came and asked you the same thing?
I would give maybe similar advice, but maybe I might say it a little less. I might find a way to say it a little not nicer, because it wasn't not a nice way to say it. But I think I would just say, we're really lucky to live in Canada, and we have all of these resources, particularly in Alberta with Alberta Music and Country Music Alberta. These resources are sort of game changers, or they were for me at least, in the sense that finding a community and finding support and like-minded people, it makes the crazy, challenging part of being in the music industry so much more bearable. And when you have people that you can relate to and, that you can cheer for, it makes all the difference in the world. So I guess that would be my advice. Be crazy, but also find like-minded people and utilize all these organizations that we're lucky to have.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because there's tons of help out there now for artists.
Totally.
Which is great. Okay. All right. Let's talk your newest single, After 31. Tell us about it and how it all came together.
Yeah. So After 31 is a song I wrote with my friends, Lydia Sutherland and Parker Gray. So both really great Canadian country artists. And we were in a Zoom write and just sort of talking. It was weeks before I would be turning 31. And I had some ideas sort of in my head about, kind of writing a song about that. So the more that we got talking about it, the more we realized, even though we're all different ages, I think Parker is in her 30s and Lydia's in her 20s. You feel that pressure to achieve certain things by a certain age at lots of different stages in life. And we kind of wanted to write a song that was like a little bit of a love note to yourself, to remind yourself that you don't have to feel that pressure. There's really no time limit on achieving your dreams and achieving the things that you want to achieve. So that's kind of what sparked the After 31. And it happened really quickly. The song kind of came together, and a lot of it came from some of my personal experiences. Some of it came from theirs as well. And it was kind of cool how it just came together. And at the end, even though each line might be inspired by different parts of each of our lives, we realized like, whoa, we can all relate to all of this. So hopefully others will be able to relate to it too.
Awesome. And available on all platforms?
It is available everywhere you can stream your music. And it'll be one that I hope you check out.
Awesome. And it also got added to Canadian country music, correct? Or radio?
Yes, it did. Yeah. So it's been added to radio. The video is out there as well. So you can request it at your local station and check out the video as well.
Awesome. Tell us the creative vision behind the music video.
Yeah. So I worked with my friend Aaron Reimer on the video, and we kind of were collaborating on ideas. We sort of had an initial idea, and then what ended up happening was I live really close to a park called Fish Creek Park in Calgary. And it's actually the park that I grew up living really close to. So kind of going there all throughout my life. And in a lot of life moments, I actually would sit there. I'm a bit of a runner. So I would go for runs, and it would be a space where I'd really clear my head. So we thought, you know what? let's film in the park. It's a special place for me. This song is all about reflecting. So let's kind of use that as the inspiration that, you're sitting in the park, you're reflecting. And Aaron brought like a really cool backsplash, like just like a cool white sheet. And just, we kind of got creative with getting some beautiful imagery and just keeping it simple because we wanted the lyrics of the song to kind of stand out and have it just be a simple reflection video. So.
Hey, very cool. All right. You did some co-writing. What's your favorite thing about co-writing?
Never thought about that. Another great question. I think it's so nice to be able to bounce your thoughts off others. And I think being a professional singer or songwriter, it's kind of like any other job. We all have our days. So some days you might not feel super creative, but what's really cool about co-writing is you can hop in a room with others who might be super inspired and have a great idea, and it kind of reinvigorates you. So that's one of the things I really love about it.
Okay. And do you have I always ask this question. What is the weirdest, most awkward way you've ever come up with a song? Is there a funny moment when co-writing or anything?
Oh my goodness, that's a really funny question. I'm quickly trying to rack my brain here to think of what's
I'm trying to think of examples. There was one where it's even just looking at a guy in the bar, someone said, and
right,
a song about it, kind of thing.
Yeah,
weird moments,
Yeah, man, I can't think of any weird moments off the top of my head, but inspiration seems to strike at the least opportune times. I'll be in the shower and all of a sudden I'm like, I got to voice note this idea. So I'll grab my phone quick and I'll quickly sing it and then hop back in. Or at a red light, I'll quickly sneak it on my phone and put my phone away to be safe, of course. But yeah, it always seems to be at some inopportune moments. But now I'm hoping inspiration comes to me at a really random time so I can tell that story the next time we chat.
You're gonna be thinking about it now.
I am.
Yeah,
I'll in an hour, I'll think of something and I'll be like, oh shoot, I should have told Cody that story.
All good.
Yeah.
So when songwriting, you find, where do you get most of your inspiration from? Just life experience, all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, a little bit of everywhere. And as I do kind of mature and start to stumble into what I'm hoping is the artist that I'm meant to be, because it's always a journey. Yeah. I'm really trying to dive into those life experiences and put out songs that I connect to so that it can hopefully connect with others. But I truthfully get inspiration everywhere. I'll sometimes watch a movie and I'll love the plot so much that I kind of want to write a song about that. And I think that's okay too. I think, it's always really great when you can release a song like this one where it's a really true story and something that really resonates. But I love songs too that are just random and fun. So it comes a little bit from everywhere.
I mean, someone can relate to it if it's random or whatever, right?
Totally. Yeah.
Someone out there can relate to it for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any shows lined up people can look forward to?
Yeah. I'm going to be heading out to the CCMAs. So I'll be doing a showcase there for the Blue Jay sessions. That'll be on, what date am I doing? I think it's the 26th, I believe. So I always update my socials, Instagram, Facebook with my upcoming shows. So I'll have the date up there for that. And I'm hoping to do some Christmas stuff. So just check in on my socials and I'll hopefully be announcing some stuff soon.
Perfect. And with that being said, tell everyone where they can find you on social media.
Awesome. So my Instagram is at Alex Hughes Music. Facebook is facebook.com/Alex Hughes Official. I've got TikTok. I know you've got TikTok, so you can find us both there. and Twitter, Alex Hughes Music. Alex Hughes Music as well.
Okay, awesome. All right, guys, go grab her newest single, After 31. Check out the music video. All the links will be in the description below. And Alex, thanks so much for taking the time today.
Thanks so much, Cody. It was awesome.
Absolutely. And yeah, let's stay in touch. And I can't wait to hear the weirdest, most awkward way you've come up with a song.
That is coming your way, I promise.
Okay, we'll talk soon and take care.
Yeah, you too.
Okay.